Hey guys, what's going on? It's Daily Tactics here, and I am back with some more Men of War Assault Squad 2, the Star Wars Galaxy at War mod. Today, we find ourselves on Felucia, where Bly has been battling it out with the Battle Droids for quite a while now. He has a personal escort of Shadow Troopers with him, and then he's got his own 327 Star Corps infantry behind him, the lads who were in charge of Felucia during the invasion. This is a Republic base that was fought over, and then Bly ran out of troopers basically to defend it, so he retreated back, but now he's coming back to retake it. However, the illustrious bounty hunter by the name of Aurra Sing is here, and she has brought with her a little personal guard of Magna Guards, as well as B1 battle droids who each have a squad leader of commando droids with them. So the two sides are basically completely even. They're both going to be going after the Republic base at once, and they're going to duke it out in the inside. It should be pretty sick. This is a pretty dope map. I really love it. And so yeah, we'll be right back and we can get this started. One moment. Alright, you bad Larrys, let's go ahead and press start, and both sides should begin marching forward. The droid's sort of spreading out across the road here and not really sticking to much of a formation. Let's see the clones. The clones, much better. Look at these guys. These guys are pros, completely sticking to formation. I don't know what it is about clones marching, but it just looks so sick and so like uniform. Oh, I'm so excited for this battle. It's going to be awesome. And then the disappointment's over here, completely breaking formation. Maybe it's a strategy. Maybe the droids are like, you know, if we spread out, we won't get hit as much, and that makes sense. The clones, though, looking for intimidation tactics. Though, can you really intimidate battle droids? I don't know about that one, but we'll see. Either way, we can actually see the commando droids taking the lead here, even though they weren't necessarily in the front. And that's just because their base speed in the game is a little bit higher, because they're, of course, commando droids, so they're a bit superior. So both sides should be sort of entering into the battlefield now. Both sides sticking to the entrance for the moment. The battle... Actually, I don't know if they'll be able to see each other to start the battle off. Let's give them a second. Actually, maybe they... It seems like they might have, and because they're splitting up a little bit. Let's see. They'll eventually find each other here. Yeah, the droid's splitting up. And there we go. First shot's actually being fired over here. We can actually see Commander Bly in this mess of clone troopers. He's right there, engaging with the battle droids right now. Pretty sick. Just complete chaos is erupting across the battlefield. Here's your girl, Aurra Sing here. She is fighting on the front lines with some of her droid buddies. Very nice. Let's try and get a... Oh, God, that's terrible. Wait, there we go. All right, that's a nice zoomed-in angle there. So, yeah, the droids seem to be sort of sticking back here now. The lines have sort of been drawn in the battle. Neither side is to go much further than here without getting completely shot down, and Commander Bly made that mistake because Commander Bly is now down himself. Aurra Sing also down. We can see her legs sticking out of this barrel. If we move the barrel slightly, we can see her. So the two leaders falling rather early in this battle, which is kind of disappointing because I really do enjoy being able to watch the leaders fight each other and all that, which is good. I'm trying to adjust the camera. There we go. That's nice. Okay, cool. That's a nice close-up approach there. But yeah, I always like it when the commanders tend to, you know, stay alive for a little bit longer during the battles and things like that, and actually manage to get involved with the fight. But instead, those two just sort of gunned it ahead and managed to get themselves killed rather early. But that's okay. I digress. We've still got some cool commando droids we get to look at. We still got some cool Magna Guards we get to look at. So life is definitely good. Not to mention this dope Felucian fortress here, which we've actually, I think, only used in one previous video. We used it when Commander Wolf was defending this from a droid attack from two sides. The droids came from both openings and basically sandwiched in the clone troopers. It was a pretty brutal battle, if I remember correctly, but that was definitely a cool one. I'd like to use the this is a weird map for the camera angles. I'd like to keep actually using this map a little bit more because I like it so much. I think it's a really cool one. The only problem is that it's not super huge, you know? There's only so many things you can do on it because it's a kind of a smaller map. I'm thinking maybe at some point if we skirt over here just real quick. You can see all the outside bits. Maybe we could do some droid assaults through the swampland or something like that, and that could be really, really neat, I feel like. Again, messing with the camera angles. Sorry about that. It's really crummy. We're actually seeing the clones begin to push a little bit further in, breaking down the boundaries that were sort of set at the beginning of the battle for where each side could go, and they're beginning to close in a little bit more on the droids. The droids themselves taking up a bit more of a defensive stance instead of an aggressive stance, because they're sort of clumped together in this position, so their firepower is really good when the clones do sort of show their faces, but they're not spread out a lot, so they're susceptible to some flanks here. If the clones manage to send a few more troopers, off this way, which it looks like they've been trying to, according to the dead bodies, then perhaps they could really outflank the droids here and start gunning them down. But for now, they're mainly sticking to a middle position here where they're fighting, which is an acceptable strategy as well. I just think a flank here would definitely be very, very brutal for the droid forces. We're seeing actually more clones go down now as this sort of attempt at a push forward has somewhat been thwarted. It wasn't the greatest of pushes. They've still got troopers, but it seems like the majority of the attackers were taken down. Also, if they do get too close, then they're going to just hit a wall of grenades. The droid grenading radius is probably right around here, so if they get just a little too cocky and they come a little too forward, then the droids can just start lobbing grenades at them. But vice versa, the clones could do the exact same thing to the droids, and the droid little clumps in here would get torn up by grenades. There's the first grenade going out. The clone manages to toss it to the side, though. That was very good on him. And he actually even moves forward here. We've got a floating block. That's, don't worry about that. That's a gravity field, or an anti-gravity field. Don't worry. It's fine. Everything's fine. Nothing's wrong. All right. Oh, there's another floating block. What's with all the floating blocks? There, gravity on Felucia must be real weird, guys. Must be real weird. Either way, the clones still sort of continuing to mount this push here, but their numbers are starting to thin as they do. We're seeing more and more losses coming from them. Meanwhile, the droids haven't really had to exert too much force onto the clones in this defense, so I think the droids might have the upper hand right now, but the clones could easily make a comeback. This, both sides still have huge numbers, so they could very easily make a comeback and win with little to no effort at all. But, well, it would take some effort, actually. I take that back. But, just the simple act of a good grenade or one soldier just managing to really put the smack down on a group of droids could change the tides of war here, if you know what I mean. Like one good flank or something like that. And that could be the good grenade we were looking for. It does disrupt the droid lines. Will the clones capitalize on it? And it seems like they do. They actually take down a number of droids, and they in fact try to push forward. A few clones getting chopped down, though, as they do. So the grenade definitely had a lot of potential there, but I think it ended up being about even for both sides, so not a big problem. The droid's actually spreading out a little bit more on the right over here. The left, it seems like they had tried spreading out over this way, but ended up getting cut down, so they're back to sort of sticking to their roots over here. Every time we see clones sort of push out this way, they get gunned down pretty badly, like that guy right there. So both sides are still sort of confined to their middle groups here. I think the clones might be winning in terms of numbers right now. I'm seeing more clones than droids. That, of course, doesn't really mean too much because positioning is everything, and if the clones don't take advantage of their positions, then they could easily go down here. The nice thing about these blockades is that there's tiny little slits where everyone can sort of shoot through, so the action is constant, and there's really no place where the enemy can just sort of hide. That was a big grenade right there, by the way, which makes it so the AI really has to apply pressure if they want to win the battle. They can't just run and hide and be cowardly like we see a lot of AI do in the mod. So that's kind of the nice thing about having these blockades that have these little holes in them, because there's always constant pressure on you to fight back against the enemy. Alright, clones still sort of progressively trying to push forward, but they've never really made it past these spots right around here. Every time they push further than that, they're cut down. But we're seeing the droids sort of weaken now in their defense. They're actually getting pushed back. We saw before they had many more troopers up front there, but now they're a bit more subjugated to the back lines here. So It could be the beginning of a good push for the clone troopers here. Of course, that's yet to be said, or seen, rather. But it could potentially happen because we are seeing clones creep further and further forward. One of the shadow troopers, in fact, is coming very far forward. I don't know if the droids actually have any more special units left alive, but the clones certainly have at least a couple. Unless that was the last shadow trooper, which would be kind of funny. No, there's still a few shadow troopers actually left alive. It's funny how the shadow troopers managed to live through a good chunk of the battle here, but the Magna Guards and Commando Droids did not. Well, I guess the Magna Guards and Commando Droids sort of gunned ahead of the rest of their troopers due to their advanced speed. So perhaps since the Shadow Troopers were all the same speed as the normal clone troopers, that's why they weren't killed off as quickly as the Magna Guards and such. I don't know. That's just a theory. Who knows? Could be right, could be wrong. Either way, both sides still continuing to thin here. I think we're back to sort of even. Maybe the clones still lead by a little bit. Actually, the droids moving out. That's the first advancement we've seen from the battle droids in a very long time. That was actually pretty impressive. The droids choosing to apply a little bit more pressure to the clone troopers rather than sit still. That could show sort of a weakness in the clone lines, and the droids seeing that the clones aren't as strong as they once were, and they could possibly be applied a little bit more pressure. I think a few good grenades here could win the battle, though. So if one side gets just nice and close and they get a number of grenades off, that could definitely force the enemy to succumb. But we're just not seeing that right now. I think the first person who gets a solid number of grenades off could decisively win this battle. Or we could just end up seeing, you know, a brawl that we've been seeing right now. You know, just two sides gunning it out. Not too much strategy involved. I mean, a little bit, but overall, just more of an honest fight. So, it could just simply come down to who has the bigger guns. To which effect, I'd say both sides have kind of equal guns, though. So, not really the greatest analogy. That's okay. Whatever. All right. Either way, clones actually advancing a little bit more now, which is cool. I always wish we saw a little bit more from like the Battle of Felucia in the Clone Wars series and things like that, and saw a little bit more of the 327 Star Corps. I feel like we didn't really see all that much. We saw the Order 66 scene on Felucia, and then did we see any in the Clone Wars TV show? I feel like maybe we saw a scene or two, just like brief ones. Like, was the scene where Ahsoka was captured by the Trandoshians? Did that take place on Trandoja? Or sorry, not of course it took place on Trandoja later in the episode, but did that take place in Felucia? I can't quite remember, but I feel like this was just sort of a planet that was always really cool. It always had really neat, you know, shrubbery all around it, and the 327 Star Corps were on it, who were a really cool legion. It had Bly, who was a cool commander, but I feel like it was sort of, it just didn't end up coming to fruition very much in the movies and TV show. And maybe that had to do with the TV show getting canceled early, because if I remember correctly, Felucia was a bit of a late war battle, so it could have something to do with that, I guess, but that's me just sort of theorizing. I don't know a ton on the topic, but I don't know. I think it would have been neat to see more. What are some scenes that you guys sort of wish you could witness more of in Star Wars, but you really only got the taste of, and you never got to see the full sort of fruition of what it could be? I feel like there's a lot of that in Star Wars, where we get hints of something, but they never give us the full thing. And that might even add to the experience of Star Wars, because it's like you get to sort of use your own imagination to picture what it could have been, or, you know, it adds more mystery to the subject. But at the same time, it would be nice to actually see the things, you know? And the nice thing about, like, expanded universe stuff, like Star Wars Galaxy at War is not expanded universe, but, you know, we do get to see glimpses of it because of it. Or things like Star Wars Battlefront 2 was really cool, because we got to, like, fight on places we didn't get to see a lot of, like Magito and Felucia and things like that. So That's where the extended universe definitely comes into play and comes in clutch for fans of the series. Oh, big grenade right there. It didn't, okay, it wasn't as big as I thought. If it had just skipped a little bit further down that slot, it would have been huge. Regardless, the clones, while I was sort of jabbering on about Star Wars, that's what I normally do though, the clones did manage to advance quite a bit here, and they are pushing the droids who were sort of standing behind this position backwards in a more defensive position back here once again. Ooh, Shadow Trooper going down right there, actually. And we did see a little bit more grenading going on. One pretty big grenade on the droids. Oh, a huge grenade coming in. Oh, that one could be it. No, it got tossed away pretty nicely, actually. That could have been a game changer if it didn't get tossed away. Either way, the clones really applying the pressure now. They are all business at this point. Are there any Shadow Troopers left alive? None that I'm seeing. Oh, another grenade coming in. Oh, that one actually ended up taking out that guy. Yeah, he's dead. Oh, no, he's not. Okay. I was looking on the mini-map, and if it's a white circle where they're sort of signified as standing, then it means they're unconscious. But if it's red, it means they're dead. So that guy, I think, is just unconscious again. Yeah, he is. He's probably really low on health, though. He's healing up right now, which is probably a good idea. But the droids are getting completely pushed back here. I would say the clones definitely outnumber the droids by now. And the droids are going to have a lot harder of a time sort of coming in and completing this battle with the number of troopers that they have left. And we're seeing them trying to sort of supplement their number of troopers with the power of their weapons by throwing more grenades out there, maybe trying to, you know, get more kills and then even the odds a little bit with some Hail Mary grenades, but it's just not working out. The clones are being able to sort of throw them back as fast as they're coming at them. Oh, it was a little bit quiet there for a second. A clone comes up and makes a play for the left flank over here. He gets a good number of shots off. The droid's trying to respond with fire of their own, not quite managing to connect a good shot on this clone, though. Of course, the clone not really connecting with the droid too much either. It's just sort of cannon fodder for the day. So nothing too huge going on. Alright. By the way, guys, I'd love to know sort of like what kind of content you want to see from the channel, because I feel like I've just sort of been uploading recently things I think you'd like to see, but you might not necessarily. So if anyone has like things they specifically like to see from me or whatever, I'd love to know it, because I just want to make sure I'm not just uploading things that no one really has an interest in, because what's the point then, you know? It's to entertain the masses, and if you're not entertained, then what's the point of me uploading it, you know? So if you got anything you're dying to see me do or whatever, let me know. Like, you want to see some more Galactic Civil War, I'll definitely make time to do that. Or if you want to see more of a certain Clone Legion, I'll guarantee I can do that, you know? That sort of a thing. The only problem is sometimes requests get a little too complicated, and, you know, the editor doesn't exactly handle things super well. You've seen the AI, they're derpy as heck. So it's best if you can keep the requests as simple as possible. I mean, it can be complex sometimes, but it has to be doable within given sort of restrictions, that sort of a thing. So, yeah, let me know if you got anything you want to see. Either way, we saw a little bit of duking it out here. Clones sort of shifting positions ever so slightly. Droids responding with fire of their own. Right now, it's down to... Let's see, we can even count. There's so little. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. About 10 clones, it seems. Versus about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 droids. So, the droid's actually making a pretty big comeback here. Oh, but a droid just died. I heard it. I heard the little squeech of a dying robot. Oh, and another droid right there died. But a clone died too, so it's like 10-9 maybe right now. The droids actually have made a bit of a comeback here in the late stages of this battle. I wasn't really expecting them to do that at this point. Ooh, grenade coming out. That could be big. This guy's not moving out of the way, and he gets absolutely tanked, but he manages to rub it off. Oh, but this guy didn't. He died. Oof. Big oof right there. Alright, let's see. What's it gonna be, guys? What's it gonna be? Should we? We'll just let them keep duking it out, you know? There's no point in rushing this battle along. We can take a, you know, take it in stride, see what happens. it is getting to be kind of a lengthy video for not a ton of men. Like, this was definitely less troopers than I usually add to a battlefield. But I guess the terrain sort of made it so each side had just such an opportunity to take cover at certain times, or, you know, sort of protect themselves or heal themselves, that sort of a thing. Like, that's what made it such a dynamic battle, where no one side really could claim themselves the victor after long periods of time. Or, well, that's why it extended to long periods of time. Ooh, that clone why'd you do that, man? That was dumb. Big oof right there. But I mean, I guess they gotta do something. Like, at this point, they're not making advancements, so they're not proceeding forward too much. And without doing that, then they can't win the battle. I heard another death scream. I think another clone died. They're getting actually some good shots off on the droids right now. That's a pretty good grenade, though. This guy isn't moving. Oh, but it was under the thing, so it didn't really hurt him. All right, well, I guess he didn't have to move, but that guy probably should have moved because he was getting shot. That's all right. And this block, like, just saving droids' lives right now. This guy's trying to get the kill on some of these droids, but he's getting shot back at from the droids. The droids definitely outnumber the clones now. Ooh, that droid being a little bit cocky and proceeding forward. We really didn't see too much advancements in this battle from the droids. Most of it was by the clones applying pressure to the droids, not so much vice versa, which is interesting because it made it so the droids really could dominate the battlefield and play very defensively, and thus received less losses than the clone troopers. And now the droids are really just rubbing it in the clone troopers' faces, doing big pushes here now when the clones are weak. So playing the defensive strategy certainly has helped the droids quite a bit. Clones even it out a little bit here with a few more kills, but they only have 3 troopers left in the very middle here. The droids have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 troopers. So it's a slight edge, but either side potentially could still win. Clones moving out a little bit, getting into better positions here to fire at the enemy. Not really connecting too many shots, though. We'll see. We'll see. Droids also moving around. It's sort of come down to this block of storage units. Oh, this droid moving off to the side just a little bit, seeing what he can do. Still moving around a little bit. Let's try and fix the camera. There we go. That's better. Clones just sort of chilling. You're trying to get like a nice peek shot over here. The droid, oh, he sort of moves out when the clones weren't expecting it. One clone over there goes down. He throws a grenade and then gets some shots off, killing one clone, and then the grenade actually came back to the droid. The droid is not dead. He's just unconscious. He gets back up. This clone thinks he's dead, though. Droid tosses another grenade while his buddy sort of rounds the corner. Clone throws a grenade at the droids. He goes down. Will his grenade get a kill? No, that droid is just unconscious, actually. You can tell by the minimap. So the droids win, but just barely. Droids only have 5 troopers remaining. That is insane. Let me know if you'd want to see a part 2 to this battle, because maybe we could do something where the clones have to attack the droid base or something like that, since they've now captured it. But we can see the deaths here exactly even. Well, not exactly even. The droids had 5 less deaths than the clones. That is insane, because they both started with the same numbers. And as you can see, the clones definitely pushed way deeper into the droids' territory than the droids ever pushed into the clones' territory. Only at the very end did they really push deeper in here. Yellow being the droid dead bodies, red being the clones. Bly died. Oh, he's right there. And the Bounty Hunter died. She's under this block here. So, pretty intense battle. Pretty cool. I enjoyed it. Hope you guys did too. And I'll see y'all later. Peace. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content, and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.